Alright, and it looks like we're good to go. So, we are picking off with part 3 of the animation series where we're working on this Minecraft video. So far we've got these three poses here that we are going to be putting into a scene. We've got this kind of constraint system going on where the character here holds onto the the floor here and then sits down, which we're going to be using on the scene that we set up yesterday using this concrete. It's kind of going to be a crane in the end. But the last thing we were trying to do is we wanted to load into Minecraft and get some scenery going. So we have that working hopefully. So we're going to be loading in just a second. We're going to grab some terrain. Then then hopefully we will be able to import this in as a kind of a background setting. And then yeah, with the background we will be hopefully finishing off the animation, setting up the lighting, and it should end up looking pretty good. So I'm gonna load into Minecraft now. Let's update OBS and see if this works. Yes, it does. Okay, finally. So I kind of found this nice area which we're gonna be using. We're gonna be putting in the setup here where we're gonna have the crane placed somewhere around here, and then maybe this mountain is the background. I've looked at a few different areas around here. We've got some beach area around here, and we've got this cherry grove. I mean, that would be quite modern. There's a village over there, but I think what we're going to do is we're going to extract this here. So we're kind of limited to a 64 by 64 area. I think that should be enough for now. So we're just going to get a structure block, and this should be able to import it straight into Minecraft. If you haven't done this before, all you need to do is you just need to give yourself a structure block. What I'm going to do actually is I'm just going to shrink this down here, just like this. Alright, here we go. So we're going to go and grab, like, from here, I'd say. Let's just see what this gives us. So this is the structure area that we're going to be grabbing, basically. So we want to set the size to 64 by 64. And then we want to set the height to, like, maybe 100. Okay, alright, so that's the area that it's giving us so far. Where is that? We can actually see with this outline here. Okay, right, so it seems like it's going the wrong way, I think. Oh no, it's going that way? Okay, right, so what we need to do is, on the x-axis, we need to offset it a little bit. So we're just going to go 100 off this way. That is not quite the direction I wanted. Okay, alright. Maybe we'll offset it on the y-axis. Oh, that can't be right. What way do we want it? We want it to go... We want it to go negative y. Sorry, no, negative x. So we're going to go negative 100 from here. Perfect. Just like that. And there we go. So we have kind of this mountainside now. It's definitely not a big enough area, but I think we could use this right now just for testing, just making sure that we've got everything set up. So then let's go the y offset minus 10, just to make sure we've also captured some of the underground. So you can see here, this is like a side profile of the area that we're going to be grabbing. I'm pretty sure that 64 is the limit. Let me just, yeah, 64 is definitely the limit. All right. So I think this is a good area to grab. So let's set a name to land 1. And before we hit save, we're going to go up here and we're just going to check out the area that we've got. Okay, alright, let's see. So we've got kind of this area here. Is this going to include water? Because I don't really want water. Alright, okay, so I think we've offset it a little bit too much on the negative Z axis. So now I've got to find the structure block. It should be... I've lost it. I've completely lost it. Alright, well, it should be somewhere on this line here. Come on, I can't have actually lost it. Ah, here it is. Right, okay. Alright, so we're going to grab this. And instead of offsetting it by 100, let's go with like 64. There we go. Yeah, so there's kind of like a cherry tree in the background. Maybe we'll move it a little bit more, just that's not in. 75. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. Then that gives us some space to work with down here, and then this could be the background area here. Maybe not with that large tree. Let's go a little bit further over towards that way. Alright, okay, so that is going to be on the X plus. So we're going to also offset by like 8 on here, and then go a little bit more on here. Perfect. I think that'll look good as like a background set. So, all right, okay. So we're going to be saving this to disk, and then right. Let me just quickly switch this over while I save this. All right, so that's going to just go. Let's just put it in. Ah, hold on. I've got to save this as a 3D model, actually. There's like a 3D export setting in the top left when you're selecting the mode in structure blocks. Alright, so we're just going to put this in my documents. Perfect. Alright, so now in Blender, here we are. We're going to go... I'm just going to go ahead and import that. Let's just have a look at what it's going to look like. So maybe I'll make a new scene. So it's just going to go blank, and then we will import the file that it gives us. Here we go. So, documents, assets, here we go. Alright, it's loading, and it's all pink. Alright, that's not an issue. It could be an issue, but I'm going to say that it's not an issue. How does it look in the render? Okay, it's dark. Hold on. Let me just set a background texture. Okay, right. So the world is pink, but as you can see, we do have it here. So let me just have a look at what's happening on this. Is that fixing it? No. So it looks like in the latest version of Bedrock, it just doesn't. It doesn't even let me import it. I can't really be sure why. Let's just have a look here. Let's see. Let's have a look at what the image texture is. Okay, so it's gonna... Oh, hold on. The Blender window seems to have shrunk a little bit. Let me just move that over so you can see what's going on. Alright, so it seems to have hit an error while exporting for some reason, and it's giving me this... I just dragged this over. This huge pink checker texture, which is fine. I guess I can try exporting it again, but that's a little bit annoying. But as you can see here, we'd have the terrain here. Then the crane would probably... Let me just pick a nice color that contrasts. This blue will do. The crane will probably come up like this. Although it is diagonal, so probably more like this. You know, so we can do that. So let's start with... let's try changing out that. Okay, no, that's not going to work. Alright, so let me just quickly switch over and try exporting it again. I'm guessing that it's just some kind of visual error. Oh, it could actually be to do with vibrant visuals, the latest 1.21.6 update. Right, okay, so let's clear this out and let's try again. If not, then we're just going to have to quickly build up a scene like we were doing last time. So import in this file and grab it. No, okay, alright, so yeah, let me just try without vibrant visuals quickly. So I'm just going to save and quit to the main menu and then disable it. Because that could be the issue for why we've got weird visual issues, which it wouldn't surprise me if that's part of the issue. All we have to do is just go into Minecraft settings, and I'm just going to set my graphics to fancy. Then when I load back into the world, we should see, well, I will see, let me just bring Minecraft back over so you can see what I'm seeing. Yeah, okay, so now the graphics are back to standard. Then I will quickly now import this into Blender again. Save this as the third iteration because the first two didn't work. Alright, pretty simple. Then import the GBL file just like this. And it's still broken. Okay, so it appears that in this version, it appears that Vibrant Visuals just does not work with terrain importing, which, okay, that's kind of like a bit annoying, but we can work through it. So what we're gonna do is get rid of this, I guess. I mean, we could try and reconstruct it, but I feel like that would probably be a waste of time at this point. So let's go ahead and go back to this other scene. And I guess, so where we left off, we was discussing where this crane could be used. So obviously this is going to go down to the ground. I guess we could continue building this out. As for how we do that, I'm not actually too sure. So let's just kind of get creative. So we're building a crane. It's probably going to need to have a few more arm segments here. So let's just drag these over a few more times, probably to like here. Then we're going to go duplicate these upwards like this. Perfect. Awesome. So now we've got our crane. Then what we're going to do is we kind of need the main support structure. So let's go ahead and use these parts here, or do we? We could probably actually get away with having the main part square. So let's go and use this part here as the center. Okay, so you can imagine this here as the main pillar. So if we just bring this down, just like this, I think we said probably about there would be a good size, because we want it to be probably just under half. Right, let's just hide the floor as well. We can add that back after. So then to make sure that this has like a proper supporting base, we're gonna grab it and just take these out a little bit. And then we'll do the same here. And then the same here. Perfect. So that would be that part of the crane. Now what we need to do is we need to grab these and also bring these over, because these need to go further back. So there would be some kind of support pillar going back here. I really don't know how we're going to do that. So this is probably all going to be off camera. So we just need like a rough structure there. So now we've got this. We're going to have maybe the character could walk along down the main part of the crane. I feel like it's going to be too much work to get the character to... Okay, that's not what I expected to grab. Okay. It would be probably too much work to have the character slide down there. I feel like sitting down is already enough. But I feel like definitely some kind of entrance animation. So maybe just walking into frame from the side. Because it kind of depends where... like we could probably, if we just do like a rough camera animation now, this won't be final, of course, because we've got to have like a proper scene before we can do that. The camera could possibly fly in, like from here, going into like here maybe. You know, just like then going into a close up, and then the animation will be like this. You know, so it's just pretty easy just to stick in a camera animation, just as a rough outline. Then the character would probably want to walk in from like the left side or the right side. Probably do a wave and then sit down with this sit down animation. Just for anybody new coming in here, I'll show you the sit down animation we made the other day. So it's just pretty simple. There we go. Sit down just like that. And then we've also got the wave animation here. And then just a simple walk animation. So we've got like the basics of the animation done there. One thing I've wanted to do is kind of to make like a bee, because we've got this yellow crane, and I really feel like it would be cool if we could also have a bee model. So let's quickly do that. Let me just get up some reference files from Minecraft Bee. So I've got the texture file already downloaded. So we need to grab that. Where did I put it? So it's going to be in Bedrock Samples and Resource Pack. Entity, and then the bee texture. So where did I save it? This is the thing, like I save all these files ready for the stream, and then I have no clue where I've like left them. Okay, so entity texture, bee, here we go. Right, so there's 4 textures. Just a standard bee with nectar, and bee with nectar. So let's just grab the standard one, and if I drag that in, you can kind of see that it's just, well, it looks a little bit blurry right now, but there's a bee. So yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to add in a new cube, and this is going to be our bee. So let's create a new texture for that. We're going to go with the gold block, and I'm just going to duplicate it and name it bee. And then we're going to drag in the bee texture, just like this. And now let me just make sure you can see what I'm doing properly. So maybe if where do I need to drag this over to? If I drag this over to here, you can see at the bottom there. And then I think there should be like a side panel. No, okay, I haven't got that. So I'll just quickly connect this up and then we'll work in the viewport. All right, so we've got the bee. And as you can see, it's currently like spread across all of these faces here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over to this other tab here and have a look. So we have to make this, firstly, the right shape for the bee, which we're going to count how many pixels it is. In this, of course, one block is 1 meter, which makes each pixel 1/16 of a meter. The face of the bee, I think, is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So let's do that on the x-axis. We'll make this the forward side. So we're going to do 1 or 7/16. So 7 divided by 16. That is going to be the front face of the bee, and there's going to be the height. And then for the length of the bee, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pixels back. So then we're going to do 10 over 16. So this here is the correct dimensions for a bee. And if I'm not sure if I can, let me give you a new window so you can see the bee texture on the other side of the screen. I'll just put that at like the bottom or something. So we'll get a window capture, Blender material, and we're going to capture this file. There we go. So now you can see here we've got, so this is kind of the texture I'm working with. Let me just crop this down a bit. I'm genuinely very new to OBS still, so I'm just kind of dragging stuff around until it works. Alright, so shrink this down. And yeah, so this at the bottom here is going to be the window that I'm working on the left side. I've got an ultra-wide monitor, which is why it's kind of hard to fit everything onto the stream. So right now, as you can see, we've got a cube, or well, not quite a cube because we stretch out on one side. But Blender still thinks that this is a cube in the texture file. So what we're going to do is we're going to do an unwrap, and we're just going to smart unwrap this. And maybe actually we should apply scale first. Hold on. Unwrap this, and then we should get, yes, okay. So now we've got the right ratio of sides in this. So now we just have to line them up, basically. It's just like a really simple jigsaw piece. So to do that, I'm just going to drag this over and align this. Top pixel needs to go into this corner, and then I'm just going to move the cursor to here so it's easier to scale. Perfect. Just like this. Perfect. Okay. So I'm going to get up. So I'm guessing that this, if I select it, this piece here is going to be the bottom half of the bee. So we should probably, I think we need to just, well, in fact, we could probably just rotate this over, actually. If we rotate this by 180 degrees, that's probably the top, I'm guessing. And then that's the bottom of the bee. Okay, so what we'll do now is we're going to do the sides. So the sides, they need to be rotated by 90 degrees so that they are horizontal. So I'm just rotating in the left panel, and it looks like it kind of goes here. And then for the other side, we're going to grab that, and we're going to go like this, I think. Yes, okay, so just lining the corners up on this box. Perfect. So now we have the sides for the bee. I actually think that these sides are rotated the wrong way. Oh, yeah, they are. Hold on. So this one here needs to be rotated 180 degrees. So, because the stripes obviously have to match up around the back half. So we'll do that, and then we'll make this like here. And then this one here needs to be rotated by 180 degrees as well. So now, as you can see, the stripes go all the way around, and they should be kind of lined up. Although this seems to be flipped. Maybe I've got the wrong sides of the bee, which is fine. All we have to do is we just need to scale it by -1, just so it flips that down to the bottom. And then now for the face. This is the good part, of course, and that needs to be rotated to there. Perfect. So that's the bee done, basically. And I think what we'll do is we also need to do the wings. They're probably positioned at like a bit of an angle backwards, so we'll just pull up a reference. And yeah, so it looks like they come off the stripes, I think. So they should probably be aligned about here. Sorry, I haven't been keeping up with chat much. I haven't actually got OBS. There we go. Right, now I can see chat. So yeah, so I kind of like the idea of the fluffy bee from the movie, but for now, let's just do the basic bee design, and I'm going to go with probably adding in just like a plane to the side of this. So if we just grab a plane, just like this. Let me just make sure you can see. Right, so here's the plane. So this is going to be probably, it's kind of hard to say. So this needs to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pixels across by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's going to be 7 by 6. Right, so we're just going to resize this. Okay, I actually don't know how to, 7 by 6. I don't actually know how to do that in this mode. So we're just going to quickly do a rough sizing. I mean, it doesn't have to be exact. The bee is only going to be small. Okay, so scale this up so it matches. And then I think this was 7 pixels across. All right, so then we come across like this on the x-axis. Just make sure these corners line up. Just like this. I'm going to drag this corner in. And then what I want to do is I want to take this edge here and I want to grab it over until I count 6 pixels out. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just like this. Perfect. Right, so now we have the texture for the wing. Just going to scale this down here and unwrap it. Perfect. So then bee wings. I don't know. I assume that they have specific sides. I think they might actually be the same. They're just flipped. So we're going to rotate this like this and scale it until it fits perfectly with the texture that I'm looking at in the bottom left here. So grab this. Perfect. And then we're going to just scale up from this corner here. Then we have this scaled from like this. Why is it? It's not for some reason letting me. Oh, it's because I'm on face like mine. There we go. Alright, so then scale just like this. Perfect. Alright, so there is a bee wing. I think we're just going to use the same wing texture for both because these both look the same to me. I can't actually. I think they're just flipped the other way. So let me just quickly go into the shading editor quickly and just make sure we hook up the transparency because otherwise the wing's going to be like it's not going to be see-through. So we have that, and as you can see now we have the bee, we have the wing, and I think we just have to stick it on. So where does a bee keep its wings? I think that's an important question to ask. So I think it's quite far forward. So maybe if we go with like probably want to keep it in line with the body, I think. Or is it actually pivoted like 45 degrees like this? No, I think it might actually be an angle. All right, okay, yeah. So let's do it at an angle. Okay, so to do that, we need to probably go from above and align it to like here maybe. And they kind of tilt backwards on the body, just like this. Does this look right? I feel like this isn't right. Like here. And then it needs to go, of course, rotate it from this perspective and in. That's probably not bad. I feel like it's not quite right. Let me just rotate this. Oh, I can't. Okay. That's fine. We can just roughly drag that. And I think we can then just flip it over on the axis. So that'll probably do as a bee, honestly. I feel like it's going to cause issues because we can't rotate this separately. In fact, let me undo this. And we're gonna make it a separate object. Okay, so separate this. Okay, so now we have the bee wing. Let's rotate it like this. So I think that's right. So this line in the middle goes backwards. So kind of like that, and then it needs to align with the front here. I think it's just in front of the stripes, just like that. And then we rotate it like that. Perfect. Okay, and it goes visible there. So then we drag it, and it sits just out the top of the bee like that. And then to scale it, we're gonna go around here, and then scale it like that. That is not right. Why is that not? Okay, no, this is fine. We can save this. Perfect. We now have a bee. The only issue is it doesn't have the stinger and it doesn't have the legs. Is that going to be a problem? I feel like that's probably a problem. They'd probably tuck their legs in a little bit when they fly, and we could probably do with like giving this some thickness. So what if I give this a solidify modifier? Is that gonna? No, it looks kind of weird with the. It has like a gap in here. All right, that's fine. Okay, so what we'll do is kind of instead we'll leave them like this for now. What I kind of want to actually do is, like I said, I kind of want to do the fuzzy bee kind of texture. So to do that, we're actually going to unhook the displacement from this, and then we're gonna go for like a hair system. I have not worked with these, but this could turn out really cute or absolutely horrifying. So yeah, so right now we've got these hairs on the bee. So this is not the kind of Minecraft movie bee I was picturing. But what we'll do is we'll make the hair a little bit shorter, like this. Probably like that. That would be like a good length. And then we need to make it so it's not just these sharp angles out to the side, which is absolutely crazy. We don't want it like that. So to do that, I'm currently in the property panel in the bottom right. Let me just hide this one off screen. There we go. So, oh, sorry, it's in the bottom left of your screen. That's where I'm working right now. So we've got these properties here. We can change the number of hairs. Like we can make the bee really hairy. But we probably will stick to like 1,000 for now. And we'll set the length to 20 centimeters. Which, because this is scaled up, where we're using meters rather than centimeters. I think that we can just go with what would probably be about 2 millimeters. So then, as for how we actually make the hair look good, I genuinely don't know. But this is gonna probably either turn out looking really weird and really funny, or it's just gonna work. So let's go with how do we make the hair? Okay, right. So we want to add hair dynamics. Okay, so that's kind of giving it like this gravity effect, which isn't bad, but I feel like we could probably turn up the quality on that. Yeah, okay. Right, so it's getting a little bit laggy, actually. We won't do that just yet. So what we want to do is we want to have some kind of density to it. I think that's the word, because it's like the hair has volume. Like these hairs are currently extremely thin. So we kind of want, I don't know, it kind of looks like it sounds crazy, but it looks like it's actually been brushed in the movie. It feels like it's been combed really well. So it doesn't go straight down, and it kind of goes backwards. So maybe what we could do is we could actually add in some gravity so that it pulls it backwards, if that makes sense. So what we'll do is we'll set the gravity to 10 on the x-axis. Now if we play this through, there we go. You can see that it's kind of more combed. And to improve that, we kind of want, let's go even shorter on the hair. Let's make it like 0.5 millimeter and then just have absolutely tons of it. So it'd probably be like this. And I think the hair, I don't know, I feel like there's quite a lot of it. So what we could do is we could do some, let's do like 5,000 base hairs and then also multiply them to make it look absolutely crazy and just have so many hairs. So what we'll do is we'll go children, interpolated. Oh yeah, now we're talking. All right, so this is how many it's going to be in the final render. It's frozen. It's already frozen. Okay, really hoping it doesn't crash, but that's a lot of hair, as you can see. That's going to be probably too much to render. So we will go with maybe we'll just work with like a small percentage. I've still got Minecraft open in the background. It just started raining. Let me just pause that. All right. So it's kind of going to look like a bit of a piñata, I hope, like a bee piñata. So we kind of want to give it like some clumping on the hair, because it kind of groups up, I think. I think that kind of makes sense for it to be a little bit more, you know, this is what we have right now, and the hair, it kind of looks very thick. So let's actually thin that out a bit. I think that we probably want, how does the hair control the thickness? I think it's under shape. No, hold on. Ah, here we go, hair shape. So we can probably just make it thinner, I think. We'll probably go like 0.1. That might be too thin. You know what? No, that could actually work. And then what we want to do is we want to give the hair. I don't know how we give the hair a separate texture. You know what? We'll just give the entire bee a separate texture. So we'll go hair BSDF. Just in the material editor, quickly just making the color right. And we'll grab this, plug it into here. I don't actually know how we do the, you know what, no, we'll leave it as it was for now. And we'll always be able to just come back later. I don't know why the bee is white. Why is the bee glowing white? Is that an issue? I feel like there might be an issue there. Okay, you know what? It works fine here. Let me just refresh. There we go. Okay, so I feel like we kind of... So the hair's on the front here because the gravity is going directly backwards. We kind of need to also give it some negative here. So let me just rewind. Yeah, okay. So that's like... That's kind of right, I think. On the actual Minecraft movie one, I'm pretty sure the ears, the eyes and the... Not the ears, the antennae, they don't have any fur, but we'll brush that in after. We can like shave the bee, it'll be fine. So for what we're gonna do on this is, I don't know, I feel like we kind of need more hair, and it probably needs to be longer. So let's go here, let's make the hair like a tiny bit longer. And then we're gonna go down here and we're gonna give it some kind of curl, I think, because the hair shouldn't be like straight up just these strands, if that makes sense. Like, currently they're just straight. We kind of need to give them, like, a little bit of curl. So, let's make them clump up a little bit. Like this. Okay, yeah. So that kind of works quite well with the layers. Okay, so we're already making some improvements. And I feel like the actual model probably needs to be, like, smoother for this. So what we're going to do is... let's just take our original bee model. I do not know what it's doing. Just hide that. And then in this one here, we're just gonna bevel it, just because the bee needs to be kind of round for this, I think, for it to work. We'll just make it like a really round Minecraft bee. Something you would never actually see in game, but like, you know, we're in Blender. We can do what we want with bees. All right, there we go. So, okay, right. So this is definitely closer. All right, so then what we're gonna do is we're probably gonna want to make the hair more. Probably more like this. Less clumping. And we probably want to give it just like some curl as well. Probably not that much. Not that much. Hold on, let me... Wow, okay, alright, so I'm gonna have to stop trying to render. So this is our bee. Okay, it's going very wrong. Let's just... Okay, I have no clue why the bee is suddenly so hairy, but we've got... Let's try turning down how much it curls by. Probably like this much curl. And I feel like we need to give the hair more volume. It's still, even though the hair is quite thin, that's not a good thing, I wouldn't say. I think it needs to be thicker. What we could do is we could bring a camera over here and just see how it looks in render. Let me just see, is this gonna... Yeah, okay. Let me just drag this up here. And we're going to put the camera right here. And we're just going to zoom in on the bee. Just like this. Okay. Right, so here would be our bee. Once again, the wings have vanished. I don't know where the wings are. They could be down here somewhere, but we'll add them back after. Now, I'm just going to render this out, and hopefully this won't cause any issues with the stream, but let me just quickly grab a render of this. I think it's genuinely refusing to... Oh, no, we're good. Okay, right, let me just go to the rendering tab so you can see what's happening. And let me just make sure you can see this. Yeah, so here is the bee. As you can see, it's extremely fluffy, and that does look good. But I think it might be a little bit too... I don't know, it looks a little bit glitched right now, so we can definitely improve this, but that is a really good start. It does look kind of airy and fluffy, and it looks like the kind of bee from the movie. So here it is in the viewport. Let's just go back to just the bee. Alright, so I think the issue was that it's not the hair isn't combed very well. So maybe we need to turn off dynamics and comb it manually. And then we can also shave the eyes at the same time, because the bee eyes should not be like this, basically, because the hair only needs to grow out from the sides of the body and down the middle of the face, really. So yeah, so let's change the vertex mass a little bit down to like this, and then let's just redo the dynamics and just see what it does. Because I think the issue is that there's like just so many hairs coming from absolutely everywhere that the bee just looks weird. As for like the hair stiffness, I feel like we could also improve on that. Let's go ahead and let's change the hair randomness, because it's, at the moment all the hair is also the same. So let's make it probably like a little bit different, like that. I don't know. Can we change all of the randomness of the length? There's definitely a way to do it. There's no way this isn't a thing. So it's gonna be under. I'm just in the bottom left panel on your screen again. So if you're wondering where I am, probably like this. Like this maybe. I feel like there was definitely more. There was definitely more settings to change the length of the hair, but I guess we're just gonna have to. I'm gonna go for this. Okay, alright, so then, yeah, I think it's a good time to go into the vertex painting mode, or weight painting, sorry, and just change the, where we're gonna see hair. Alright, so this is gonna be on the, hair group. Let me just rename this. And I think we have to paint the entire thing with a value of 1 first, just so you can kind of see underneath all the fur it's going red, which means that hair will grow from that location. Let me just make sure I've covered the entire bee here. Should probably turn off hair visibility. Hold on. Let me just hide the hair. Perfect. Okay, that did hide the entire texture. Okay. Alright, so, then where don't we want hair growing out of? I feel like we don't want to get hair coming out the eyes. That's a good start. And then also, the spots on the forehead, probably no hair there either. So, let's go and set the eyes down to a 0. How does this work? Alright, so I'm guessing this isn't subtractive. So how do I set this to go to 0? Is there like an erase mode? Let me just... Okay, I don't know how to work with weight painting, so let's just work this out quickly. This won't take too long. Alright, so it seems that I've set the entire bee to have hair, and now I'm unable to reverse that. Hold on. There must be a way, surely. Paint. Paint it with a weight of 0. Yeah, that should be working. I don't know why it's not letting me paint over it. Unless, okay, we might actually... Okay, let's try again. Let's try again. So, we're going to set the weight up to a 1. We're going to hide... Oh, no, we won't hide that, actually. We'll go in and we're going to carefully paint in the hair. Why is it not painting? Ah, okay, right. So I see the issue. So the issue is that it's weight painting on vertices. I should have realized. I don't know why. I've completely forgot that was a thing. Okay, so we paint the back half of the bee so that it goes red. Done. Now, the middle of the bee is kind of a rainbow right now. We've got like a rainbow bee going on here. So what we're gonna... Let's go into edit mode. And we're gonna need to subdivide, or probably loop cut this, just so we can, like, not have hair on the face. So to do that, why can't I loop cut? I feel like the more I use Blender, the worse I get. Okay, so loop cuts. Here we go. Right, so let's have some good loop cuts on the face here, and then some loop cuts this way as well. Perfect. All right, so then we also need like a loop cut here to define the edge of the eyes. Perfect. Okay, right. So now when we go back into the weight paint mode, we should be able to paint everywhere but the eyes. Let me just coat the entire thing red, and then because it'll probably be easier to subtract the eyes rather than to only paint the eyes. Let me just get OBS up just so I can make sure I can see. Alright, so bee. We have a hairy bee. Now what we need to do is we need to make the eyes not hairy. So to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to set the weight to 0 and then paint that onto the eyes. I feel like this could, like, I've got to be very precise here. Okay, so weight 0, just like this. All down the edge. Okay. The eyes, they come down to like here, I'd say. Okay, perfect. And then drag this across. Just keep painting the eyes blue, so then they won't have any hair. I think this is the correct way to do it anyway. I feel like there might be some Blender professionals that know better ways, but I'm not that... I don't have much knowledge when it comes to actual Blender technical side. So Right, so let's make the... Okay, that's a bit of an issue. Alright, no problem. So we're just going to do this. Just like this. Perfect. I think this might be the limit for how far we can take the eye. Perfect. Okay, so that's one eye done, and now we've got to just do the other eye quickly. So as you can see, that one's all blue, so it's not going to have any hair. And if I just set the, how do I set the fall off for this? Fall off, here we go. Constant. This work? Yes. Okay, right. So I just have to quickly go around just like this. Perfect. And then around to the side we go, and we're going to do the exact same thing here. And then I need to make sure that this is not going to be... Perfect, just grab this and take it over. Alright, so we now have a bee that doesn't have hair in its eyes. We should probably also do this, because I feel like this doesn't need hair either. Just quickly make sure that it's not going to have some weird eyebrows. A bee with eyebrows would be crazy. Does the one in the movie have eyebrows? No, I don't think it does. Okay, that's fine. Right, so then we do this one here. Perfect, just like that. Then we need to go back into object mode, and we need to assign that group, I think. So under vertex groups, we set the length to hair. Perfect. There is now no hair in the bee's eyes, which is, I'm sure, very well appreciated. So now let's go back into our render and have a look at what this looks like, because I'm kind of concerned about the edges of the bee now that we've beveled it. So yeah, let's have a look at the render. Okay, so it's kind of looking like some really weird... I don't know if we have too much hair, because if you look at the front here, it seems to all be bunching up. I mean, the sides here, this is actually kind of good. Like, where it's, I don't know, maybe we turn off dynamics. I say let's turn off dynamics and let's just brush the bee. Let's just give it, like, honestly, straight up, let's just get out a comb and use a brush. That's not even a joke, that's how we're actually going to do it. So, to comb the bee, what we have to do is we have to turn off hair dynamics. And here is the bee. And then, I can't believe I'm actually doing this. So, we have the hairs here, and I have a brush. And what we're going to do is we're going to brush the bee. Oh, this is not what I expected to be doing today. Okay, so we brush the bee. All the hairs are going to go backwards, just like this. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Alright, so we kind of want to make sure all the ones from around the side of the face are going backwards as well, because, like, otherwise it's going to have some weird bee mohawk or something like that, and that's not gonna look too good. So let's just drag all of the hairs backwards. Alright. What does this look like? Oh, we can't see. Alright, that's fine. So you can kind of see here where they're not going backwards fully. So let me just make sure they're all going backwards. And we kind of want them straight back too, because you've got to keep in mind the aerodynamics of the bee. It's going to want to have all of its fur going straight back. Perfect. So then, do these hairs here, because they seem to be sticking up at the end. Perfect. And then the bottom of the bee. There we go. And I'm just going to brush all of these ones over as well. Can't believe I'm actually having to manually brush the bee, and the dynamics wouldn't work. Okay. And then for the face of the bee, we're probably going to comb it mostly downwards. I feel like it probably all needs to go, like, down towards the legs, because that's probably just what it would do, because the air's going to be rushing up against his face. And then, yeah, I like how this has turned from animating a Minecraft character to combing a bee's fur. That was a wild shift. I did not expect that. Alright, so then the face of the bee probably needs to go like... Oh, I'm messing up the back. Hold on. Probably needs to all just go down, honestly. Let's just, like, comb it towards the edge of its face. It's kind of looking horrifying. We don't want the bee to have a mustache either. We need to make sure that it's... Oh, I'm messing it all up. This is fine. I probably should have done the face first, though. I'll keep that in mind for next time. It's probably all just gonna go like this. When in doubt, brush it down, though. That's probably like a good idea. Right, okay. The bee is nearly finished being brushed, and then we can have a look at how this looks as a texture. this issue here, though, that's going to give it like some crazy hair. Let's just comb all this back down again. This is like a really bad hair day for the bee. Like, if I was the bee's barber, he'd be like, I want a refund. Okay, right, so, brush this all back, take this across like this. And I think, oh yeah, this side here also needs to go across, and this side here needs to go across. Just make sure we get every angle. I feel like giving this bee a mirror and being like, how does this look? Okay, right. Okay, I feel like that's good. So now let's go back into object mode. Okay, the bee is kind of bolding, but that's fine. How does this look? Oh no, let's properly render it out because I want to make sure we've got all the hairs. Let's have a look. Okay, so I feel like the bold patches are a bit of an issue. I think maybe I brushed it a little bit too strong. Yeah, I feel like I've probably brushed it a little bit too strong. But where there is hair sticking up, this here on the side is probably alright. Yeah, and I like the density we've got going here. I just feel like it needs more, what's the word for it? It's probably like, I don't know, it's like a shine to it, I think. Maybe, I don't know, because animal hair isn't all the same length. So maybe we need to work on that. Let's have a look. Alright, so we've got our brushed bee. And I feel like maybe the issue is that the bee's hair is going inside. Yeah, so it kind of starts and it's going like that, rather than going straight across, which we can fix later. But let's for now work on the actual particles. So the next issue is going to be probably adding in some. In fact, we could probably turn on dynamics and then just see what it does with the hair combined, like with how we've brushed it. Does it not want to? Okay, that's fine. We'll just turn it back off. All right. So looking at the how do we? All right. Yeah, simple. So we've got the hair. Let's make it look good. So do that. We probably want to give it some. What does parting do? Actually, forget. Let me read the description. Create parting in the. Okay. Yeah. So we just want probably a little bit of this. Then the clumping. Probably don't want too much of that. Maybe like that. Okay, that's probably good. Let's go ahead and... So currently the hair is curly, but I'm not sure if that's the right method to be using for this. We could probably try braided. What does braided look like? Wow. What does a braided bee look like? Let's render this out and see. Go into the render tab. And then we just got to wait a few seconds. Okay, that looks really bad. Oh, you know what, actually, if you just look at this face, that looks pretty funny. That kind of looks like the woolly cow. But yeah, this is still an issue. That's definitely an issue. Let's go and try wave. Let's try rendering that out. Let's go ahead to the render tab, just like this. Okay, so the wave, let's make sure it's fully rendered before we make any sudden opinions. I don't think that's too bad. I don't think it's right. I think the issue that's holding us back is the hair length. So let's go back to curl, and then let's try and fix this. So the issue is the length of the hair isn't very random. Maybe it's under hair shape, which I don't actually remember where that setting is. Let's go down to here and have a look. Hair shape, here we go. And I think we need to have more wispy hair, like, so not all of the hair is going to be the same color. It's going to have some slight variation to it. So we need to kind of have some color variation, which we can do through the material tab, I'd assume. Let's go like this. How does this look? That is not right. You know what? It does look kind of better. Let's have a look on the render. Where is it? Rendering. Here we go. All right. No, that's a no-go. That's not going to work. I think that the clumping does look good, but on the Minecraft movie bee, I'm pretty sure it's not going to be like that. Okay, so let's turn that off. And I think what we need to do is we need to give it some other forces that are going to give it some like waviness. So how do we do that? So What we could do is we could... I feel like there's... Maybe we need to set this to advanced. Maybe there's a tick box that I'm missing. How do we do this? So it's coming out the faces. Yeah, that's right. Jitter distribution. I'm trying to find... I'm pretty sure there was at one point a setting where you could go into more advanced configuration for these particles. Okay. Alright, I can't find it. So, back down to here. So, I feel like maybe we turn down the amount of hairs, because I feel like it was quite dense before. So, maybe if we, like, half it. And we go to the length, and we set it to... what's this going to do? Oh, that's interesting. I feel like I kind of need to go back into the brush mode and edit it because I can't... It's like, it's so pressed up against the bee that it's like hard to see. So maybe if I just give it like some like reverse brush. I wonder if I could reset all of these and just rebrush it quickly. Delete. No, I can't work it out. Okay, alright, so let's, puff. That makes hairs stand up. That's exactly what we want. Let's just, oh yeah, fluffy bee right here. Just puff, just like this. Awesome. Awesome. Perfect. Okay. Alright, so we've got this. Now let's, roughly make it comb backwards. So we don't want too much strength to it. I think that's what the mistake I made last time. We just do like a quick brush just over all the sides, just like this. Is that going to be too much? I think that's too much. Let's turn the strength down even more. And then change the distance down by like that much. I feel like that's still going to be too much. Maybe not. Let's have a look. Let's give this a quick render and see what we're doing. The hairs have vanished. Okay, no, this is probably because I'm in the wrong mode. Here we go. Yes. Okay. All right. So it still looks pretty bad, but yeah. Let's turn down the number of particles that are in like interpolated, and let's just go for real particles. I think. Let's go like 25 here, go 2 here, and then in the viewport, let's have like 25,000. So 5 times the amount that we had before. That's looking good. And then let's go down to here, and then let's probably lower the render amount down to like 25. So let me just do the maths quickly. So we've got 25,000 hairs by default, and each one of those is gonna have 25. Okay, so we're just working with just over 500,000 hairs. Let's see how the hair looks when it's just fuzzy like this. Okay, go over to rendering. It'll probably take a little bit longer because we've got even more hairs than before. Is this too much? That's the question. I think the clumping, it doesn't have any randomness to it. It's all just clumped together. So let's turn down the clumping like this. Probably like this. Perfect. All right, so now let's do some roughness to it. And then make the size really small. So this is just making the hair a little bit more random. Perfect. So the bee has had a very messy hair day, and then we just make it like really slightly rough. Perfect. Okay, and then we want to go with what does this mode do? Perfect. Okay. Right, now let's give this another render and see what's gonna happen. Let's probably go and also just quickly comb it back like this. Okay, then we're gonna go into the rendering. Let's have a look. Let's see if we've got any closer to what we're aiming for. Yes, okay. The bee is no longer looking weird, but it's now very it's having a very bad hair day. Like if I was this bee, I would be very upset with my haircut. So let's let's try and improve that. So I think maybe the hair's a little bit too long. So let's turn that down. That'd probably be a good start. Maybe we go like really short for once. Let's try that. In fact, actually, what we'll do is we'll comb it back even more. Hold on, let's comb its hair a bit more. Okay, so it's just gonna go all kind of back with gravity. Just giving it a second to like load through quickly. Alright, so... Alright, we've got this. Okay, it seems to have settled there, so let's have a look. No, it needs to stop playing. Why is it not stopping? Stop playing. There we go. Render. Then go across to the rendering tab, and it's looking still kind of weird. You know what, it's better though. I think the issue is that I've made it too noisy. And I think the hairs are all still the same length. And also you can see kind of in here, where the hairs stop, there's no kind of like... You know, they don't get shorter towards the stopping point. They just straight up cut off. So what we're going to do is, once again, we're going to turn down the clumping. Like this. And then also reduce the roughness by even more. We really need this to be like barely anything. Oh yeah, look at that. Straight away, much better. So, like this. Perfect. Okay, and then the craziness of it probably needs to go even lower. Is this the clump causing the issue here? Yeah, okay. Alright, so a little bit more on that. Probably like that much. So you can see on the sides here, it's all going slightly backwards. But I think the issue is we still have all the hair is the same length. And I really forget how you change that. Let me just, so I think there's interpolated and simple. Let's just try simple for a second. Let's just copy over our settings from that. So the size, and just make this like a lot more random. Change the length, just like this, then change this length. Okay, and then, so they're still, the bee is having a really bad hair day right now. Once again, it's having a really long day, and it's not going well. So, how do I change the length of the hair? Well, I don't know why this isn't making the hair shorter, but okay. Just like this. You know what, no, we're probably just gonna have to stick with this. Right, so then in terms of the length on top, it is still seeming to be in groups. Okay. I don't get why this is so... There we go. That seems to be helping, actually, if we turn off longer hair. And then what does this parting do? I don't know. I'm just kind of editing graphs right now and hoping that it fixes it. That's not it. Okay, right. So let's have nothing here. Perfect. Okay, so that's flattened that out. What does the curl do? No, that's not right. Let's go back to this frame. And set nothing here. I still feel like there's definitely a way to make the length a little bit more random. I mean, we could paint it in randomly, but I feel like that's not the best solution. Right, so now let's where's the bake for this? Let's turn off hair dynamics and turn it back on again. Perfect, okay. So we've got to give this a few seconds just to play through, just like this. Now let's have a look. Let's have a look in the render. So we've changed quite a bit, and it should hopefully look more like a fluffy bee rather than some weird curly-haired yellow creature. That's better. That's good. That's definitely really good. Yes. Okay, there we go. We have now got a very fluffy bee. The issues that I'm seeing still is that the hair, obviously it's all the same length. You can see it mostly along the edges. But also the hair is still perfectly straight. There's no like randomness to it. It's not got those like odd strands. So firstly, let's reduce the amount of hair so you can see each of the strands. Go to here, perfect, okay, and then Ah, I found the advanced tick, finally. Okay. Use full physics calculations. All right, so we've got that. So now, hopefully, we should have a setting for this. Okay, right. So if we do this, change out the mass so it's a little bit lighter. So that's the weight per hair, so it should now go back further. And perfect, okay. And then, aha, we have now got density settings. So density target. I don't know what this is going to do, so let's play this through and see what it does. Okay, it's going to take a little while. Let's go back to more interpolated hairs. I think that'll help. So let's go back to 5,000 hairs. Then under interpolated, we need to just multiply the value by 5. Okay, well, we'll just do 100, and then we'll set this to 5. Okay, perfect. That shouldn't have caused any major issues. I mean, you can see that we now have some more wavy hairs rather than just straight hairs. So what we'll do is grab the textures here, and probably we want to like change this value. I don't know. I'm not too sure on the. There we go. That seems to be creating some length randomness. Not too much, but it just allows a few of them just to like wisp through the rest of them. Okay, and then the parting is probably too much. And then let's give it some more roughness. I'm not even sure it's roughness that we need. Okay, I think that's all the settings that we have. So let's now go with. Ah, hold on. There's one under here. Let's go and do. There's definitely more settings that I'm missing. Surely I'm missing something. Ah, here we go. So we need to make them go object aligned. And we want it to go like this, I think. Whoa, okay. That is a bit too much. Okay, let's reduce that. Let's reduce that by a lot. Oh yeah, that's looking good. That's looking much better. Okay, so then we also want some randomness to the rotation, I think, which is good. We can do like this much. I don't know why this isn't making much of an impact. Oh, it's because I'm on frame 3. Okay, alright. Still not making much of an impact. You know what, we'll just turn it all up, and if something breaks, we'll just come back to it later and we'll just fix it. Okay, we'll do this. Aha. Forces. Okay, alright, so this is the one that I've been looking for. So what we want is we just want this tiny amount of this. Just like this, I'd say. Then the mass of the particles, we need to make sure that's the same as the other value that I input. No, okay, actually, let's set this up to like 100 so I can just quickly edit this. We don't want the hair to be too crazy, so let's only do like this. Now let's render and see what it does. Probably want to. I think I've set the velocity, and that's not what I want. Where's the velocity? 0. Okay, right, let's do this. Okay, just a quick little bake here. I have a feeling the hair could now be too crazy. We might need to turn that value down after. Let's just render it and see. And presenting the B. Okay, I think it's a little bit too crazy. Yeah, it's too crazy, but that hair does look good. That does look really good. What role does the bee play in the vid? I don't actually know just yet. We're probably just gonna have it like fly past in the foreground, kind of like I don't know if the Minecraft movie actually has it. I think there's like a bee right at the end of the Minecraft movie that flies right past the camera. We're not going for exactly that, but it would be really cool if we could just have like a bee that will fly past the camera, and somehow we'll like animate it so we can make the bee squish and like rotate and turn rather than just being this solid block. Okay, so let's turn this back down to 1, and then make sure we're here so we can Like, this bee must have some insane hair. Right, let's turn this all the way down. How does this actually look in the render right now? I'm just curious. We have to look. It'd be really funny. It's probably just gonna be a ton of random bee hair. Let's see what comes out. Okay, yeah, it's pretty as I expected. The stream might actually cut out while I'm rendering this. No, stop the render. Yeah, the stream kind of cuts out while I'm rendering this, but as you can see, it's pretty chaotic. We aren't dropping any frames, but I can imagine it would cut out a little bit. Okay, so let's go and let's reduce the craziness even more. That's probably still too crazy. Let's do like a tiny bit. And then render. That's not the right tab. Rendering tab. Here we go. Yeah. I mean, it's still getting there. It's still really nice and fluffy, but I don't know. Something about it is just wrong still. I'm not sure if it's the texture that we've got. Maybe we need to give it more of like a glowing texture. And the face is definitely not right with how we've combed that. But other than that, so I think it's definitely getting there. It's probably the issue is also going to be on these edges here because there's less hair is going to be there because of how it splits and rotates. All right, so okay, so let's make a few more changes before we wrap up. So let's have a look at the drag. So drag doesn't seem to be doing anything. Whoa, that definitely did something. I don't know what it did. Seems to be giving it a little bit more length. I guess we can try it. No, that seems to be making it shorter. Oh, it makes it shorter and then it makes it longer. No, let's not do that. Deflection, integration. Right, okay, let's just quickly make a second material. So we've got the base bee material, and we're going to go for a bee hair material, and we're going to set that here. Let's make sure that we have both assigned in the material slots. Let me just quickly do that. Let me just grab this. Where is the bee fur, and then the base bee texture. So now in the base, no, in the fur texture, what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab the. In fact, let's just delete everything. I'm just gonna quickly just make this so that because there's nothing really too interesting going on. I'm just making a hair texture. Okay, so why is that not coming out with color? Oh, it's because I've grabbed the wrong node. Hold on. Let me just add this so you can see it, just like this. I'll extend it out a little bit just so it's covering a bit more of your screen. I'll just put it like here. There you go. So kind of need to, so we have this, and I don't know how this is going to look in render preview, or in the actual render, sorry. But what we want to do is we kind of want to have some, I feel like there should definitely be some transmission to the fur. And it kind of needs to have, if we go hair info, is that an option? I feel like that's an option. Object info. Geometry? I'm sure there's like a hair length property. Maybe it's, let's actually go over hair BSDF rather than, oh no, a principled hair BSDF. So then I'm sure there's like a node for the length of the hair that we can use to then make the hair get lighter as we get to the edge. Curves info, no. Particle info, that could be it. Let's try that. I'll just do a quick search for it. So it is Blender, Shader, Editor, get, make hair get lighter at the tips. Perfect. Okay, we'll just search for this. Okay. Hair info. Apparently there's a hair info node, but I doubt it. There is no hair info node. I've been lied to. Okay, where would they have put it? They would have probably put it in the... it would probably be like an input, right? I would have thought that it would be an input. So let's have a look. So What have we got? We've got camera data, color attribute, curve info. It could be. Maybe it's point info. No, I'm not too sure. Let's just grab a color ramp. I'm just going to experiment. Let's just check that it's not here. So let's go index, no, randomness. This doesn't even seem to be working with the randomness node, so maybe it's not particles. I would have thought that this would be particles, but apparently not. Maybe not. Blender shader editor, random color per hair strand. That might help us get there. What are they using? They're using a hair info node, but I don't know what the modern equivalent is. Unless I'm just completely missing something and this isn't like a proper hair texture or something. Hair info. Let's just check the wiki for the hair info node. It's curves info now. Okay, alright, so it was that after all. So let's just do this, and yeah, so now we've got random hair color. What we need to do is we need to do the length. That's not going to work. Is strand. I feel like here we go, intercept. So what we have to do is we have to plug in the color from the bee texture. And what we do is we, no, in fact what am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. Right, so we need to get the curves info node. We need to get a bright contrast node. Plug it into here. Do a color ramp. And then we do the intercept. No, that is not a color ramp. Take the intercept, so how far along the hair we are, and we change the brightness based on that. Perfect. Let's just move these over here. So now you can see that at the base of the hair, it'll be the correct color, and then towards the end, it just gets lighter. What we'll do is we're going to turn... So if we turn this off right now, it'll just be the original texture in theory. And then what we want to do is towards the end, we just want to slightly lighten up by maybe like this. And then we'll also compress just to make it like ease and barely at the tips, just make it lighter. I think that'll work. That should be good. So maybe 0.2 is too much. Yeah, it is. Okay, let's go with 0.05. Okay, now we've got a hair texture. Let's have a look and render this out. Oh, I think I just dragged Blender over a little bit. Let's get OBS up and see how this looks. Okay, for some reason the bee hair is all white. Maybe we're doing too much brightness. I can imagine that would be the issue, but it does... Oh, I can see... Oh, okay, no, I know the issue. We've got it set to... No, I don't actually know. Why is this... Let's turn up the number we can see in the viewport, which will cause some lag, but let's, like... how do we do this? Display amount. 30. It's frozen. No, it's fine. Okay, alright, so yeah, so it seems to be that the issue is that it's like really white at the tips. Okay, maybe the issue is we need to randomize the color slightly based, rather than on the length, we do it based on the just like, so random hairs will like be different colors. But before we do that, let's do maybe it's really tough. So if we go and give it some more shine. I'm just gonna try and work out what looks good here. I feel like it's really tough to... Whoa, okay, that's not right. That's really not right. Probably like about here. And probably want it to be like less shiny. I'm genuinely just guessing values at this point. There we go. Okay, so let's also take a a random hair node and let's make 1 in 10 hairs just really shiny. Or yeah, so 1 in 10. So that's like 0.1 here. And then we put this into the roughness. And then I think we can also plug this into here. I don't know if we need that. Okay. That's something. Now let's just quickly play this through to give it a few frames. And then render this out. Go to rendering and see what this does. Move that out of your way. Okay, so the bee is still very shiny. That's not necessarily a bad thing. I think that there's just not much individuality between the strands. That does look pretty good though. Other than these side bits here, I think we're actually getting pretty close. We're just gonna have to make it less shiny. Let's do that quickly now. Probably like, I don't know, because it doesn't really look shiny in the viewport. Let's just increase the radial roughness and probably set this up to like 0.8 and then set the 1 in 10 chance to be like 0.05. I feel like that's still very white. That is not right. Let's go like right there. I think that might work. And instead of doing the face of the bee, let's come from like the side angle here because the eyes are kind of a little bit off-putting at this stage. So let's go grab the camera like this. Probably like there's good. We'll move in a little bit, and this should be a good preview for the bee. And then let's render this out and see what happens. All right, how is the side of the bee looking? Okay, I think that 1 in 10 hairs is probably a little bit too much, but it does look really fluffy. Like, I've got to give it to the bee, it does look fluffy. Like, you can see that we've got these white curly strands coming out, which I don't think looks bad. I think that looks pretty good, but like, we just need less of them. So let's do 1 in, I'm just trying to find my tab. Here we go. 1 in maybe 100. 1 in 100 would probably work. Just like this. Now let's just render and make sure that definitely had an impact. Rendering tab. It didn't. Why are they still... What else did I plug into the node? Let's try... let's just check out here. Yeah, no, so there's still... What if I just... Right, so the issue is definitely the fact that it's just too many that I'm selecting for this roughness treatment, I think. I don't know why it seems to be picking out so many. It should not be picking out that many. I've set it to like the lowest possibility. This is actually going to make it really shiny. Hold on, let's just scrap that idea and let's just manually set the roughness of the bee. Let's try this. Go across the rendering tab. That's something. Let's see how it... Oh, okay, yes. That's more like a velvety texture. That looks really good there. And yeah, I think this is definitely closer. I think, once again, longer hairs and less hairs. Let's go back to that strategy. So, longer hairs, hair length, like that. Then less hairs. Let's do 3500. There we go. And we have to do... Play this through. I don't know how we can get more hairs on this. Maybe if we change the distribution. Let's just make sure that we can... I think that might actually be the strat, just to turn off even distribution. Turn off even distribution, and I think this is actually going to help. Just to make sure that it's like properly... It's like if we look here, there's not so many hairs, they're like sparse here. If we turn the jitter up a little bit, then it seems to be better. I think. I mean, we could just paint on more hairs. Let's just play this through quickly, get a bake, and then have a look at how this looks. Let's take this over to the render tab and have a look. Okay, something's gone wrong there. What did we change? I'm trying to remember what we changed to cause these issues. We had less. Oh, right. So we've got longer hair. So now I feel like we need to increase the hair density, I think. Not the density. Oh yeah, let's try changing the density. I actually don't know how much that's going to impact it. Distance, collisions. Let's lower this by a little bit. So then they'll collide less. Oh, that's actually okay. No, that's the wrong collision. Let's change the right. So if we make it lighter, they should like go back more. So let's do one fifth of the size. Right now, let's recomb the bee so its hair goes backwards. Doesn't really seem to want to go backwards anymore. I'm not sure if the hair density is just like too much. Where is the density setting? Because I did change. Aha, the density target. All right, let's change this down to a 1 and see what happens. Okay, that seems to make it worse. Let's change the density up. You know, I don't actually think that's doing anything. Hold on, let's probably under the dynamics. Let's do thinner hair by 10 times. I mean, we could just turn up the gravity, honestly. We could just make it so that the hair has to go back further. Let's make the gravity, like, 10 times. So it's just gonna go flying back. Just imagine, like, a hairdryer just coming from the front of the bee. Let's try this. Okay, that's definitely better. Let's have a look at how this looks in the render. I feel like this has potential. I'm not sure if we're gonna have, like, some visual issues where we've got the bee kind of, yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I like this material still because it's very what's the word? It's very much so like glass. Like don't get me wrong, it looks very silky, but it's kind of hard to see, and I don't think that's kind of the look that's gonna work here. So can we change this? I don't know. Okay, I don't actually. That's not what I wanted to. That is not it. Okay, this one. Try the other mode. I think it could be the IOR, the index of refraction, that we're having issues with. What we could do is change this down and then set the transmission down, which does look weird. But I'm going to trust the fact that that's... Is this a light paths issue, maybe? If I just turn off transmission and... Okay, I have a feeling that something has gone wrong here, but I don't quite know what. Let's untag this shader and then go for the original hair BSDF. Just because I don't really know how to... I don't know why the bee is randomly this... Probably doesn't help that we've got this... Oh no, that would probably actually help. Right, let's go... roughness. Maybe it's because we're in the viewport that it's looking weird. Let's just try rendering this out and see what happens. No, something's definitely not right. I mean, it does look like better. Not better. I don't think that's the right. Let's go back to the proper hair shader. It just needs to look... Maybe the hair has to be thicker. Maybe that's what I've done wrong. Because it just kind of looks very blurred right now, which is not what I really want as the outcome. Let's increase the roughness. What does the offset do? No offset. Like 2 degrees of offset. Let me just set that to default. I mean, we can randomize the roughness a little bit. Turn down the reflection. And then increase the hair thickness. I think, like, rather than the length, let's try changing the thickness quickly. Let's go, like, how thick should we make the hair? Let's go, how thick? Hair thickness. It's going to be under hair shape, I think. Hair shape? Where's hair shape? Ha! Found it. Right, so let's make the tip of the hair a little bit longer. Let's zoom right in so we can see what we're doing here. Like, probably like this much. And then the root, let's make that like 4 times as thick. Yes. Okay, now we're talking. Let's have a look. Maybe not 4 times. Let's go like 3 times. Right, now let's render this out and see how this looks with the new shader and the adjusted thickness. Okay. Just gotta wait for it to render out a little bit more. You know what? That could be good. I think it's gonna need a lot of samples though. That's the issue. It's very dark, like the reflections. They're coming out kind of green. But I do like this fur texture. It's coming out much better than it was before. But I don't know why it's so dark. Let's go into the here and have a look. Maybe we've messed with a value that we shouldn't be messing with. Let's just pull up a default hair BSDF and probably compare it to that. So, okay, right. So we are on the other method. I don't know if that looks better or worse. Let's just try it, right? Like, we can render this as many times as we want to. So maybe the issue was that the hair was too thin for the shader. Yes. Okay. All right. I think yes. This is perfect. This is actually perfect. So I think that the bee still needs to be manually combed because if we look at the face, it's going to be weird. But this is a good bee. This is like a really fluffy, lifelike bee. Perfect. Amazing. Yeah. So here's the full render. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I think I'm quite happy with that so far. So let's probably stop with the texture and maybe work out the actual buzziness of the hair, if that makes sense. Like, it's probably still needs to be a little bit more random, and also we can't really rely on gravity for the direction of the hair. So we might just straight up need to comb it. So let's turn off hair dynamics and just reset it back to straight. Just like this. So this is the default. So let's now have a look with the bee with the hair just straight out. This, I mean, obviously this doesn't look good. It definitely needs some improvement. But you can see that the hair is more curved before it just gets like pushed back with gravity. So all we have to really do is make sure that the hair is evenly coated, and then just brush it back. Just very carefully brush it though. We don't want to brush it back too much. And the hair, I'm not sure if it is too long or if it's just the fact that it hasn't been combed. But it could be, because like right now if we look, like the orange outline here is the actual bee. The hair does extend out quite far, but it has got that nice little bit of noise where it's not just one set length. So what we're gonna do is now we're gonna change the. I'm really scared of manually combing this, honestly. Let's go down to the cache and just clear that quickly so we can start making more changes again. Where's the cache gone? All right, you know what? No, we'll just come back to that. So what we need to do next is probably try and fix the gaps. So where were the gaps? There's like one right here, and I can't work out why. Is it this? No, it's not that. It's under parting, maybe? Yeah, it definitely seems like it's part of the parting. Maybe. I don't know. Why is there just a random gap of hair there? Okay, no, we can still fix this. So let's change the physics on this. I don't remember where that was. How does it look? No. We're not going back down that road of making the bee's hair curly. That was a terrible mistake, and we will not talk about the mistakes made. Okay, right. So if I can find the setting for it again, which we did have, let's do aha, here we go. Right, so this is kind of the noisiness of it, which we don't want too much of it. Let's just probably increase this up to like here before we start combing it. We kind of need to work out why these hairs here are different though. No, let's just go straight in with the comb. Right, here is our comb. We could probably, okay, here's part of the issue I think. We haven't got enough subdivisions. So let's subdivide the entire bee or loop cut it down its length just like this. So now, rather than having like one big long face, there we go. It's much easier to comb. How does this actually look now if we go into object mode? Oh yes, that's so much better. That's so much better. Let's actually, now that we've fixed that issue, let's change the length down to 0.07. Yes. Okay. Perfect. I mean, it still does look a little bit weird without the wings, but we can come back to that. So what we're gonna do is probably just brush it now. Like that's what we said we'd do. So let's just brush it. So this is the face. Let's do the. This is really tough. Let's brush very lightly, just back along the bee. Just gently. I'm not trying to do it too much. I don't want like the hairs to go inside. I don't want them to loop back around. And for the part where the stinger's gonna be, I feel like it probably just needs to go down, right? Like maybe towards the middle. I don't want to comb it out too much. I know I should probably do the face first, actually. I think that's the lesson that I learned last time. How does the face actually look? No, we've got plenty of geometry there. Let's just comb it all down on the face. In fact, let's just comb all the hair down. All the hair goes down, just like this. It's a bee that's in the rain. This is a bee that has been caught in the rain. Just like this. Perfect. On top, back it comes, just like this. Bring it back down again. Perfect. Okay, so let's just make sure we haven't broken anything here. Let's just go back to object mode. Okay. Genuinely think I might have just broken it. No, that's not much of an issue. We can just straighten the hairs out after a little bit. So now along this side, I'm going to turn the strength right the way down. And we're just gonna go back. Just like this. Just all the hairs going back. Perfect. Alright. Perfect. Yes. Okay, alright. So, now what we're going to do is we're going to manually come onto this side and just brush them all down. Probably need a little bit more strength for this part. Just going to not do too much, but I just want to make sure that along the edges that it's going to look natural, because we don't want them to be sticking up too much. But we also don't want them to be too spread out. Like these ones here, they can't just go like sideways. So what we're gonna have to do is we're just gonna have to comb anything remaining down and then comb these ones up, just like this. Awesome, like this, perfect. And then the face, we said we'd do the nose area down. And then around the eyes, we kind of want them to go like out and down. We don't want it to be like going straight over the eyes, otherwise it's gonna be like weird eyebrows. So grab this and bring it down. Perfect. Then we're just going to do one really quick coat to puff out the hair. Let's smooth it out first. Just like really slight smoothing. Probably going to come from like this angle. Perfect. Radius, turn it down, just like this. And then we're going to puff it out, just so the hair is going to be like more fluffy, really, because that's the overall goal. It can't be too dense. Right, now we're going to come back to object mode and we're going to hope that it doesn't look too bad. So let's render this out and go to the rendering tab and let's see what we've got. Okay, yeah, that's pretty good, I think. I think it might be combed a little bit too much, so we could probably do a little bit more puffiness. But as for like a basic bee, that's probably not too bad. Yeah, probably just like a little bit more puff, and then the density should be lower. I don't know, we'll see. But I think what we'll do is we'll call it here, because we have a nice bee texture. Let's just get it from like a front perspective as well, just so we know what we're working with here. There we go. Render this out just so we have like a final shot for the stream. The front is not quite combed correctly, but it'll be fine. Once we get the final comb in, we'll be set. But yeah, I'm gonna call it here for this stream. So thank you everyone for stopping by. It's been pretty successful today, and yeah, we will catch up on a future stream where we're gonna finish the beat off hopefully, and then yeah. So thanks again. See you soon.